is still Breakfast Daily here on Citi TV, and we have a lot that's coming up on this show to go. So we're going to go right now to talk about something that's very important. Monday, the 20th of March, 2023, that's today, is World Oral Health Day. All right, and we will hit the streets to find out from people what it is they know about oral health. Take a look.
What do you know about oral hygiene?
Cleaning your mouth.
How many times are you expected to brush your teeth?
Twice a day.
How often do you replace your toothbrush?
After every 3 months.
What do you use to keep your mouth healthy?
Toothpaste and mouthwash.
What, in your opinion, causes bad breath?
Not brushing your teeth.
When did you last visit your dentist?
Last year.
Do you use dental floss?
Yeah, but not often.
Other than your teeth, where else do you clean in your mouth?
Tongue.
What are some measures to prevent bad breath?
Brush often.
How long do you spend in brushing your teeth?
5 minutes.
What do you know about oral hygiene?
Oral hygiene is about how clean we keep our mouth, like brushing our teeth, flossing, and
How many times are you expected to brush your teeth?
2 to 3 times a day,
How often do you replace your toothbrush?
every 3 months.
What do you use to keep your mouth healthy?
I mostly take Mentos gum, like gum with mint.
What, in your opinion, causes bad breath?
Food getting stuck in your teeth, and then coated tongues.
When did you last visit your dentist?
I haven't visited a dentist.
What do you understand or know about oral health?
So oral health is about keeping your mouth clean, basically.
Okay. How many times are you expected to brush your teeth?
Okay, I think it's 2.
Do you do that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. How often do you replace your toothbrush?
I think it's basically the toothpaste.
Okay, so a few opinions on the streets about oral hygiene. Well, today we're going to have a conversation with an absolutely fantastic human being who is joining us on the set this morning. She's a doctor, a dentist, Dr. Louisa Citi. She's the World Oral Health Day Ambassador of the World, well, she will tell us, FDI, the World Dental Federation. Hi, Louisa.
Hi,
how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's good to have you here.
Yes.
So, FDI is basically what? The French version of World Dental
Federation, right?
Ah, okay.
Yes. So that's like an international body that oversees dentists all over the world.
Okay.
So yes, that's what World Dental Federation is.
And you are the ambassador for
World Oral Health Day. I was made ambassador last year and then this year as well.
Wow.
But how did you become the ambassador?
So FDI actually reached out to me and they actually commended me for the work I'm doing to create awareness about oral health.
Wow.
And then they brought up the conversation and I was more than excited.
But you're a very funky doctor, honestly.
Really, thank you.
No, we like that, because sometimes you feel like doctors, lawyers are supposed to be of a certain demeanor and all that.
It's not without reason.
I knew that was coming.
Of course.
Look, I mean, she would tell you she's better placed than any of us. But I have friends who, over the years, who become medical doctors for so many years, And look, some of the stories you hear, if you try and do your hair something, problem in the lecture hall.
Yeah.
If you try and dress this way, problem.
Yeah.
So all doctors come out looking very, plain.
Wearing
without
spares.
even thinking about it because
it's
you've
like
done it for
automatic.
so
You've
long.
done it for so many years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're looking funky. It's nice.
Never like being funky. I mean, when you also have a bit of dancehall in you, you can't help but be more funky.
Everyone in the house is funky. So
Of course.
I have to fit in.
How is Stone?
Stone is very well. He's actually in the UK now.
Okay. And your babies, you know, I saw on social media, they were prior way. And I was like, oh, wow, you know.
Yes.
Well
that
done
was,
on that.
International Day of the
Mother tongue.
Mother tongue.
Yes,
So
yes.
we were practicing our proverbs.
No, that's
in
fantastic. You are
Chi
doing
and
a
Ewe.
great work.
That's beautiful.
But let's look at oral hygiene. What does that mean?
Okay, so I think it's self-explanatory. Taking care of your oral health.
Yeah.
Making sure that your mouth is clean, your mouth is healthy. And that entails doing this at home by yourself, and then also going to see the dentist. So there's a usual message that we preach about brushing twice a day, flossing your teeth, making sure you brush the back of your tongue, and then going to see a dentist, reporting anything that you see in your mouth that is not quite what you're used to, that's not quite what the norm is that you've been used to over the past couple of years. So all of that makes up oral hygiene.
So just take us through, you know, for most of us, we know that what you have to do is at least try and brush twice daily, which a lot of people don't really do, you know. But yeah, that we know, try and brush twice daily. I don't even think that a lot of people will do flossing, you know, and
Or brushing the back of the tongue.
Yeah.
Which I learned when I was 18, because my dad told me you've got to hit the back of the tongue.
Yeah.
Because I used to wonder, every morning he'll be brushing his teeth,
And
and then
you
I'll hear a gagging sound, and I'm like, what is this man doing? Now? So I went to ask him, and he said, oh, apparently, and this is what he said, because I think he had heard it, but he said apparently the bacteria for bad breath live at the back of the tongue.
but do people
And I
even know?
discovered that later in school. That
Do people even
Yeah,
know where the
absolutely
back
right.
of your tongue is? When we say the back of your tongue, you know. So
Yeah.
please take us through, okay, the right way. First and foremost, what do you have to do in keeping hygiene in your mouth and brushing? You know, some people just enter the bathroom. In 30 seconds, you're done brushing.
They are
They are finished.
What did you do?
Look, I remember for a long time, I kept sending my sons back. Hey, my friend, go back. Because they're going to make some U-turn and they come back and say that I'm done. You know. So what is the right way to brush?
Okay.
At what point do we use the dental floss? You know, most of us, we use dental floss when some meat has stuck somewhere and you can't bring it out. How do we go about things?
Okay, so I think what I always tell my patients is to have a routine. So once you have a routine, you do it without even thinking about it. So brushing your teeth. First of all, you don't brush with a hard bristle toothbrush. When you go to the pharmacy or you go to the store, you see there's soft, medium, and then there's hard. So always look out for the soft bristled ones.
Not even medium.
Medium or soft.
soft,
We
okay.
usually recommend soft for everyone, but if you go to your dentist and then there's a need for you to go to medium, you can use medium. So
Okay.
between soft and medium, that's fine.
Okay.
So you're brushing in a circular motion. So you're going this way and then you're coming circular, not this. Because brushing this way actually wears off the tooth, the space between the gum and then the tooth. You know that
Yeah.
little
What about
portion
this
there?
way?
Yes, so this way is actually circular. So you're going up
Okay.
and down, but you're going circular.
Ah.
You're going circular all around, just so that you're able to engage the space between your teeth and then the gums, and then get out any food substances that could have been
Okay.
stuck there.
Yeah.
So if you're doing all the top, you do all the top and then come to all the bottom. It's up to you. Basically, you just have to discover a routine that works for you. Then after that, you're supposed to floss, because when you brush, you miss about 30% of the tooth surface.
Oh, wow.
Because
So after every
obviously-
brushing, you need to floss.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean,
but
we
when
need to be
we-
practical. You can't do it. Most people can't do that every day. So at least 3 times a week is acceptable.
Wow.
But if you can do every
May
day,
I wait till
that's
I finish
perfect.
chewing the kebab?
But that's what I'm saying. I mean,
That's the thing. Because see, if you had kebab, let's say you had kebab last night,
Yeah.
you didn't floss,
Yeah.
and there'll be some small piece stuck somewhere that you can't even feel. Then the next day,
Yeah.
you go brush, it's still there.
Yeah.
You go have lunch, it's still
It's
there.
still there.
You're adding to it.
Yeah.
So over time, it breaks down, it kind of decomposes
Yeah, it
over
starts
there,
to rot in your
and
mouth.
then gives you bad breath.
Yeah.
wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are some of the reasons why flossing, brushing. These things are so basic, and people don't really think that is a big deal, but it
Yeah.
goes a long way to even help with curbing things like bad breath. This is why it's so important.
You know, generally in our part of the world, you know, we go to the hospital when we are sick, when we feel there's something wrong. I mean, routine checkup is not really something that resonates with all of us. It's not our culture in a way. So talk of visiting a dentist there, you understand, it's too
And
far.
that's the fight we're fighting. That's one of the reasons why I'm here, because especially in this part of the world, a lot of people look at oral health as a luxury. They think that, you know, it's only for the rich. Like, why would I bother going to see a dentist when there's nothing wrong? They would only go and see a dentist when they have a toothache. And by that time, it's too late. You could have prevented that by going at least once in a year for the dentist to look into your teeth, into your mouth, and see if there's a problem with your teeth and stuff like that. So we're trying to preach this message that prevention. It doesn't hurt at least once in a year to go and see a dentist and have them take a look at everything. They're not just looking at your teeth, because your mouth is actually a window to your body. It's one of the major entry points into your body. And as well, a lot of the systemic diseases that we suffer from manifest in the mouth very early. So things like kidney disease, things like cancer, anemia, they all manifest in the mouth. So your dentist may actually be the first person to pick it up. Exactly. And there's been so many of such chance findings that have saved lives. And so these are some of the reasons why we say, please go and see. Even if there's nothing wrong, at least once in a year, make sure you see a dentist.
I have my two favorite dentists in Kolebu.
Okay.
You know, I'm sure you know them. Dr. Omon, Sarah Omon. Okay, and then Denise.
Oh yes, Denise Mante.
Yes, Denise Mante. Yeah. So Sarah works with Denise as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, I have my dentist I visit all the time, Felicity. Saskia,
Okay.
You know,
so I can demonstrate. You were asking about the back of the tongue. So
yeah, let's look at it.
Yes. So yeah, I was asking about the back of the
back of the tongue. So this portion here.
Okay.
This portion here is what we term as the back of the tongue here. So when you're brushing, you have to make sure you go to the back of the tongue. And sometimes for some people who have a strong gag reflex, you hear them retching.
Yes.
So you can use a tongue scraper as well. And these are, you find them in a pharmacy.
Okay. But they also say that the back of your toothbrush can do that work.
Yes, some of them, like this one, it has, these are meant for the back of your tongue. So you can just turn it around and then, and the reason for this is that, I mean, if you look closely in this model, you see that there are some elevations here at the back of the tongue. So this makes it a perfect hiding place or spot for the bacteria that cause bad breath. You know that we have our mouth houses different types of bacteria, several millions of bacteria, but some of them are specifically cause bad breath. Some of them cause cavities and things like that. So the bacteria that cause bad breath, they produce something we call volatile sulfur compounds as a byproduct. And that is what you perceive on the outside as bad breath. Exactly. And this is where they hide. This is why it's very important for you to brush out. And what I was talking about, the circular motion, you're going round like this. So you were asking if what about up and down? This does that as well. So you're going round. If you're going from the left to the right, you're going round. And then you turn the toothbrush at a 45-degree angle, so you're able to engage the gum line, so that you're getting rid of any food that could have been stuck there, any pieces of bread, rice, meat that could have been stuck there. And you're going round and round and round. And then you don't forget to come to the back.
Okay.
Because here, a lot of people tend to develop plaque and calculus here because there's a tiny, tiny opening here that your saliva comes from. And your saliva is very rich in some, I don't want to confuse you. But
please don't confuse us.
Yes.
Use the technical.
No, use it and explain to us. Yes, otherwise it will sound like you're speaking French.
So your bacteria has minerals in it, right? And over time, it aggregates and it gets stuck there and becomes what you call the calculus. This is why when you go to the dentist and they do the cleaning, they get rid of them because sometimes it hardens and even your toothbrush can't get rid of it. So the tools that your dentist would use will get rid of all of those pieces of tartar or calculus, as we call it, that are stuck there. So always make sure that you do that at the back and then at the back here as well, so that you're not missing anywhere, and then you're going on the top as well. And then the work of the floss goes in between the teeth to get rid of, because your toothbrush cannot fit in the tiny spaces. So the floss goes in there, and then it gets out all the remnants of the food particles out.
Do you clean the top of your mouth as well?
The palate.
Yeah, the palate.
No, you don't do that. But then the act of brushing itself kind of
Clean that as
does
well.
that, cleans it. But you don't go, because it's very
Delicate.
So you may end up hurting yourself and having some...
And what causes gum bleeding? Is it because you don't keep your mouth clean enough?
So the plaque, you know when you wake up in the morning and you pass your tongue around your... it feels sticky. It's called plaque, and it's very normal. Everybody has it. But when you brush, you get rid of the plaque. So as it forms, when you brush in the morning, you get rid of the plaque that accumulated over the night. And then if you brush in the evening, you're brushing off the plaque that accumulated throughout the day. Exactly. But if you leave that plaque to accumulate, it's a foreign body. Your body is not designed to accommodate it, so it gets irritated, and then your body forms a defense, and this is what causes the gums to become swollen, red and inflamed, and things like that, and then you tend to have bleeding gums. So if you have bleeding gums, you need to go and see a dentist for a professional cleaning to be done, so that you get rid of all of those plaque and calculus deposits, and then you realize it's just like magic. The bleeding just stops all of a sudden.
And at what point do we use the mouthwash?
Okay, so with the mouthwash, we have the ones that the dentist would prescribe, and that's one mistake a lot of people do. You go to the dentist once, they give you a prescription for a mouthwash and tell you to use it for 2 weeks. And somehow people decide that that's the mouthwash they're going to use for life. And so that's not what it's meant for. Some of them are very strong in the concentrations, and it tends to discolor your teeth over time. So I usually say, when it comes to mouthwash, speak to your dentist, because everyone is different. Your situation may be different from his from mine. So the recommendation of your dentist is what works best for you.
So I can't buy mouthwash over the counter?
You actually can, but it's best to have your doctor recommend one to you based on what he finds in your mouth. And especially as a general recommendation, the alcohol-based mouthwashes, we don't really encourage you to use, because alcohol dries your mouth. And when a dry mouth is a mouth that is very conducive for bacteria, they love that dry space, because the saliva naturally washes your mouth. It cleanses your mouth and washes away the remnants of food and things like that. So if you dry your mouth, then you're inhibiting that cleansing action of the saliva in your mouth.
Now, you've mentioned to us that the importance of brushing, the right way, using the floss and all that. Is it very necessary, for us to use mouthwash?
Well, yes, it's an adjunct to brushing.
Okay.
So we advise that you use it. But like I'm saying, it's best for you to have a cut-out regimen as prescribed by your dentist, as opposed to you deciding...
Like every day you just use mouthwash. So you shouldn't do that.
And the use of toothpicks. Is it a very good thing? Would you rather recommend toothpick or maybe floss after that kebab is stuck?
Or toothpaste.
Toothpick?
Oh, toothpicks, no.
Yeah,
I don't
toothpick.
Like toothpicks. I don't like toothpicks.
You know when you get a stubborn kebab and the thing is not good?
Use floss, right?
This is what the floss is meant for, because the toothpicks, the tips are very, very tiny, and sometimes sharp. They can break and get stuck there.
And
so very uncomfortable, very painful. If it happens over the weekend, you have a horrible weekend till it comes out. So that's what the floss is meant for. Anything that the toothpick can do, the floss can do it 10 times better.
So we shouldn't be using toothpick,
no,
right?
Use floss instead.
All right. And after eating my kenke with fish and onions in them, as a way of, I don't want my mouth, everybody to smell kenke from my mouth and all that, as I'll chew gum. Is that okay, or we should go and brush?
No, you can. So the thing about brushing, you should not brush immediately after a meal. It's not helpful. You should wait at least 30 minutes after your meal before you brush.
Really?
Because, whenever you eat, your teeth goes through a process called demineralization and then remineralization. So the minerals in your teeth kind of leach out, and then they leach out into the saliva, and then they leach back into your teeth again. And that process takes about 30 minutes. So if you're brushing your teeth during this weakened state, because at that point the tooth has now become vulnerable, you are making it even worse. With time, you will have things like sensitivity because you're wearing off the top layer of your teeth. So you should always wait 30 minutes. So if you absolutely need to, get rid of that onion or garlic smell, sugar-free gum works very well. So if you see any gum that has xylitol on it, it's sugar-free. Or anything that says sugarless or sugar-free gum works fine. And the act of actually chewing the gum stimulates saliva. It stimulates more saliva flow to kind of wash and cleanse your mouth.
And sometimes you hear, don't drink too cold stuff, don't take too hot stuff, because at some point you drink it, then it kick you.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, like your teeth become so sensitive, and then it's very irritating.
Yeah, so if your teeth are sensitive, your teeth are not supposed to be sensitive. So if your teeth are sensitive, it is a sign that there's something going on. So you definitely need to report it, because the teeth has 3 layers. The enamel, the dentin, and then the pulp. And whenever there's a breakage in the top barrier, the enamel, then it allows these, the neurons in the nerves, I don't want to confuse you again, but the nerves, not neurons. No, not neurons.
No, but not for you, but for me, please.
The nerves in
not
your
everybody
teeth
that sign, so we have
very,
to
very sensitive, and then they pick up that AQQ thing you're saying. Exactly. So it could be a cavity, it could be a crack, it could be anything. So you definitely need to report it and then have it checked.
People use their teeth to open the corks of bottles and stuff
Those
like that.
Those people are not my friends. You can't be doing that. No. Your teeth is not your tooth or your teeth is not a
bottle
tool.
opener.
It's not a bottle opener. You're not supposed to use it to break things, tear things.
There are some people, look, the least thing, it goes to their mouth, it goes to their teeth. They're using their teeth to do all kinds of things.
It can easily crack your tooth. And usually the kind of crack that happens with opening bottles with your teeth is that it splits vertically. So once that happens, there's no option than to take the tooth out. It's not like you have another chance where we can do a filling or something. When it splits across like that and opens up like that, we have to take the tooth out. So don't risk it. Just get a bottle opener and then open your bottle.
Do the right thing.
Do the right
and
thing.
What is the best way to rinse your mouth after brushing?
Okay, so for a lot of dentists, they recommend that you keep the toothpaste in your mouth after brushing, especially at night. During the day, it can be a little uncomfortable walking around with toothpaste left in your mouth. The whole idea is that the fluoride in the toothpaste has a longer contact time with your teeth to kind of strengthen it more. So for me, I don't like the feeling, so I always wash. But at night, when you're done brushing, you can just spit out and not rinse.
Really?
And then give your teeth that time to longer contact time with the fluoride.
So you can go to bed with a paste in your mouth?
Yes. Not a mouthful, but you spit out and then just leave it. Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
I have never
You've never heard that?
No.
I've never heard this.
I've never heard of this.
Oh, wow.
This is interesting.
Yeah,
I never thought it was
actually
raw.
do it.
Really?
So there's also been this conversation that I've sort of read literature around that too much fluoride is also not good.
Yes. There's something called fluorosis, and even here in Ghana, there's fluoride in our drinking water and things like that. But there's somewhere in the Upper East or Upper West called the Bongo district.
I've been to Bongo, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you notice
You
that
see
the
a browning
people
of
exactly. That's because of the excess fluoride that they have in their water.
Yes, you know what? If you go to East Africa, it's very
common there as well.
Yeah. And that's the first time I heard that it was something to do with fluorine. I was like, it can't be true.
Yeah, it is.
But I didn't understand that the fluorosis is actually a problem.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's because of the excess fluoride in their drinking water.
Wow.
But here in Accra, we don't really have that problem. I mean, in most parts of the country. So usually you would get the fluoride that you need from your toothpaste. And that's why we always ask you to look out for toothpaste that has fluoride.
Wow. We've been educated, doctor, honestly. I mean, if for nothing at all, I know that I can brush in the night and keep the paste. Don't rinse. Wow.
Okay.
No, this blows me away, honestly. No, but it makes a lot of sense, you know, because you apply something and then
You have to just
in
wash
like
it
3
right
minutes,
away.
you wash everything.
Yeah.
I would say it makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much. You know,
Really appreciate
we will
it.
change our ways of doing things. Look, I'm speaking on behalf of all of us.
of us.
Visit the dentist. Don't wait till you have toothache. Don't wait till you drink the ice water
And then
and it kicks you, before you know there's something wrong. I mean, all this is preventive. We could actually save ourselves, the stress and the health issues that later probably might come with it. Thank you very much, Dr. Setekla, for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me. So please, once again, I'm speaking to you all. From the bottom of my heart, I'm pleading with you. Please try to schedule an appointment with your dentist this year, at least once this year, just to make sure that everything is fine. The number of people who are dying from oral cancers is unacceptable. Prevention is the way to go. So early detection saves lives. Please make sure to schedule an appointment with your dentist. Thank you.
We promise on our honor.
I actually have an appointment that I've missed, so I better go by the end of the month.
I will make sure you do.
Right.
All right.